we're less than 2 weeks away from training camp. It's July 31st.
Except rookies are reporting on the 27th.
Yes, and that's where I want to go. What Broncos rookie do you think will have the most impact on this team positively? And what Broncos rookie can be a guy they took in the draft or an undrafted? Do you think will be a bust?
Boy, you're putting me on the spot, aren't you? I think Zambrello will be the most impactful rookie. I don't think it will be Shane Ray. Shane Ray is going to get in about a third of the time. I would guess, unless DeMarcus Ware's hurt or wears down. Shane Ray, I don't think, is going to be a major factor. I think he's going to be an impactful player when he's on the field. I would rather take a guy that's going to be on the field for 60 plays a game, playing left tackle.
Yeah.
The most important position outside of cornerback and quarterback for a rookie.
Will he have the biggest impact, positively or negatively?
I think positively.
That's the question.
I think
a rookie at left tackle.
If there's a bust, and people are not going to like this, there's a guy that they took that was a utility infielder. Do you know what I'm talking about?
You're talking about
Garcia.
Yeah, Max Garcia at Florida.
Garcia, I'm not so sure about. I've done more research since the draft on him. Guard, tackle, utility infielder. I think he's a guy that at some point, he's not going to play this year, but at some point he's going to be a guy that reminds me of Glenn Hyde when he was here, that could play tackle, play guard, play both sides of the ball, and be your like ninth offensive lineman. Is that a bust? He was taken in the 5th round, I think. Fourth round.
Yeah.
For a 4th rounder,
you got to
Rick
contribute more than that.
Upchurch, Tom Jackson. You go back through the history. I'm going back old school now, but 4th rounders need to be guys that become starters. I don't think he's ever going to be a starter. I think he fits in as a backup guy.
See, I think they believe he has some grit. Played in a major program, was a good player in that program. I wouldn't be surprised if at some point, maybe not this year, but in his 2nd or 3rd year, Max Garcia moves into the starting lineup.
Well, it's hard to say, bust. You can say there's 7th threat. I'll give you another example. The quarterback they drafted out of Northwestern.
That's the guy that I think might not be around by the end of training camp.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, he's battled injuries. Even when he was healthy at Northwestern, he had trouble.
Help me with his name.
Trevor Siemian.
Yeah.
And I'm rooting for the kid. My kid went to Northwestern. He knew Trevor Siemian. And
did he say anything about him as a person?
No, he didn't know him that well.
Okay.
But, the Broncos took a flyer on him. They took him in the 7th round. They liked his arm strength.
They liked him. They brought him in.
They liked the fact a couple of times in his Northwestern career, he brought his team back in the last few seconds to win games. But I think this was just a flyer on the guy whose arm they liked.
You think he won't be there by the end of training camp?
Well, I think he'll be on the practice squad probably.
Yeah. Do you think that? I mean, I think he'll be on the team by default. Because they don't like Zach. I shouldn't say that. I don't think they like Zach Dysert.
Oh, there are some people in that organization who like Dysert more than Osweiler for his leadership ability.
Well, it's tough to be a leader if you're always on the practice squad. If you're running plays from the other team.
True.
He hasn't looked good when he's been in the game, in the exhibition games, playing against guys who are the worst guys on the other team.
3rd and 4th stringers.
Yeah. And he hasn't shown up. I mean, his completion percentage is in the 50s. He hasn't really, he hasn't lit up your bulb.
Yeah. Bottom line here, John Elway's going to keep bringing in quarterbacks. Every year he's going to bring in quarterbacks, hoping that one emerges. Now, obviously, he hopes Osweiler emerges.
This would be the 3rd, wouldn't it?
Osweiler, Dysert, Siemian.
Well, there's one other, though. They brought in with Osweiler, didn't they bring in? The guy they got rid of? Seemed to me.
Don't know. Can't remember.
But you're probably right. How long do you think John Elway's going to be there?
Oh, that's a discussion for another day.
Well, I'd raise it. We'll devote an entire program.
I think John is too young. I think John is too young. Even though he's too young to retire. He likes to work. He likes what he's doing.
10 years?
He likes this city. I think some of it might depend on whether or not he wins a Super Bowl. But I think John's going to be here. If I could give you a range, I would say Minimum 3 to 5 years.
I would say 5 years, and I would say he's part of the ownership group.
Oh, no doubt about it. If he's part of the ownership group, he'll be here a lot longer.
And he won't be general manager then, because
probably move upstairs and hire somebody.
I told somebody a couple of days ago that Pat Bowlen gave him a choice. You can either be the part of the ownership or part of the management.
Yeah.
Can't do both. Because Pat didn't want to have to fire him
yeah.
and say, you're still part of the ownership group. That would have been a real testy situation.